So good afternoon, friends. So it's a pleasure and privilege to have Dinesh Tyagi sir, who's an IAS officer of 1981 batch from Manipur, Tripura, Keda. When all of us, including me, who want to join IAS for those palatial DM bungalows and also for those red light cars, when sir was a DM, I used to hear that he used to walk foregoing his car in the hilly terrains of Tripura, staying in villages, along the villages, to know the real India because of his passion for work. Whichever job he has taken all these years, he has made a difference. Later when the Tripura Road Transport Corporation was making laws, sir was brought in, and within 2 years, he made it a profitable venture, and people who worked with him used to tell me, even flights can get delayed, but government buses, when he was there, dot time it used to be there. After that, yes, he was with Ministry of Finance, later as director of many public sector banks, whatever we read. And later, he joined Island Affairs for a brief time. There also, he started his passion for rural India is always, till date, he always has that rural India in mind. So that time, he found that a lot of northeast people, especially the state from where he worked, Tripura, used to come all the way for a small eye problem. They used to come up to Madurai, or say Chennai, Apollo, CMC, or Madurai, even for small. So what he did is, he launched e-health scheme where people can stay there, no need to travel 60-70 hours by train to Madurai. They can get it. The doctors from Arvind Hospital from Madurai, from there they can monitor, they can suggest, and unless otherwise it is seriously required, they will be taking the healthcare, staying there only. After that, yes, the common service centers today, which is Digital India. It started somewhere way back in 2006 onwards. We are talking about e-governance, and the present Prime Minister is taking it next level, Digital India. Now he is one of the most important pillar behind that entire Digital India. Today in villages, you don't need to come out of village to get a government certificate, to book a railway ticket, to get some Microsoft coaching, or anything. Even what we read in banking, where rural areas, people cannot have access to banking, then business correspondent. Yes, now, each village, there are some business correspondents. So, that way, he has ensured rural India is digitally empowered. Today, more than 3 lakh entrepreneurs he has created at the village level, through whom the common service centers are functioning, and he is the head for this entire program. As part of our ethics paper, you will be studying that there is one Nolan Committee of England and Administrative Reforms Commission too. They all suggested certain qualities for civil servants. Now what they will say, which will be reading, honesty, integrity, compassion towards weaker sections, innovativeness, technology oriented. Now he is a man who is a combination of the entire thing which is required to be a civil servant. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dinesh Tyagi sir.
Thank you, Israel. Don't take Israel seriously. Whatever he said, in any case, you can hear this side and let it go. Let's talk about something which I'll share with you. I'll share with you on Digital India. What is Digital India? And which may be of interest to you. Some of you will know because fortunately Digital India is also transformed in a manner where within the family the parents become irrelevant. And actually parents will become irrelevant. Because I have a small child who comes and asks me, tell me about World War I. I will think. By the day he says, leave it, I will find out. He goes to Google search and find out everything. Anything they want to know who was the cricket captain in the first or who were the team members, you will think. They don't think, they search out. And this is practically Digital India. Digital India will transform families and will make them look differently in a manner which actually we used to get tuned to it. Maybe we still reconciling into the framework where the old people get irrelevant to the families. But that's a true and a fact. Digital India, the program was launched on 2nd July 2015 by the new government. Earlier it used to be called National E-Governance Plan, NEGP. Used to be called NEGP. The new government came and they launched in 2015, the program was launched, 2nd July. The program, they have 9 components. Each of the components signifies what they want to perceive, a vision of India in terms of using digital technologies to transform the lives of people. So the basic 3 objectives of Digital India are, see, Digital India means digital empowerment. Unfortunately, I don't bring slides but I will send you that. I'll send you some material or whatever it speaks, so you don't have to really write. Just listen. I think that's the better. I will send you everything of whatever you want. In any case, Google has everything. You don't have to write today. That's the best thing. Methods of teaching in classes has got transformed. Earlier, when I used to read, I used to write everything what the teacher was saying, because I couldn't locate where the teacher used to teach. Today, the teacher says something, you have various options available to you. If you know, many of you have seen khanacademy.org. Have you seen that site called Khan Academy? How many have seen khanacademy.org? That site? One. Arey, you are not a technology guy. You should learn. See that site. It's run by Salman Khan, a Bangladeshi American. It's free. It's open source. It has courses from class 0 to class 12. And he's got IIT solved papers of last few years. On every subject, physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, you can use that, you can identify topics, and it gives a small video or explaining that topic. His face is not seen, but you can see his hands movement, everything is visible. It's like writing on a blackboard, and you can see everything. After this, there are tests, innumerable number of tests which you can do, and he can correct you and do. That means an assessment. After every video, there's an assessment. And all over the world, all the students who ask questions on the topic is available with questions and answers. So it's a full class available. One of the best in the world designed and done. The only thing is used in America is American accent English, but I think you all can understand. If any of you want to know computing and you're not done computers at all or not even read physics or chemistry, you can still run computing. Computing, of course, is so easy that you don't have to know the basics. In fact, some of the topmost in the world never went to the school and built Googles and Facebooks through using technology. So technology that way is very simple in simplifying life. I gave examples of Khan Academy in order to try and you to appreciate what technology does and how does Digital India transform lives of people. So I said 3 main objectives. One is digital empowerment, which is digital inclusion. And for that, they have a program called digital literacy. That means every person in this country, whether he's gone to a school or not to school, maybe should be made digitally literate. That is the first objective of Digital India. And you will be surprised and shocked when we are done. We do a program on digital literacy for people in rural India. And there are women who have never gone to a school. There's a ration shop lady in Chhattisgarh who is 62 years old, and she runs ration shop by using a mobile phone, Android phone. So she understands technology. There's a lady in Andhra Pradesh, and when she was given digital literacy, Sadanamma has her name, she now talks to her grandson in Dubai using Skype. So she had learned digital literacy. There are amazing stories of people who have never seen a computer but learned digital through digital. That is digital inclusion. The first objective of Digital India is to make digitally inclusive society through and digitally empowered people and communities. That is the first part of the objective. The second of the objective of Digital India is to create infrastructure for digital use. Infrastructure support in terms of both technology and otherwise. Infrastructure will use access to internet and the necessary infrastructure for people to try and access devices, also including mobile networks and other form of that. That's the infrastructure. And third is, of course, governance reforms, means e-service delivery through governance, through digital framework. The 3 components of As I said, these are basic objectives of infrastructure, digital empowerment, and using technology to simplify life for people, making governance reform. These are three major objectives of Digital India. The 9 components which Digital India has, it has 9 components. The first is called broadband highways. Broadband highways means they want to connect all the villages across. There are 250,000 panchayats in this country, 6 lakhs villages. So the objective is to collect every panchayat through a broadband highway. That means you connect through an optical fiber network. So we are creating this network across the country. Around 2 lakh panchayats have already been connected, and the remaining will get connected in another year. So every panchayat will have a fiber connectivity of a length which you can try and transmit as much as you want to do and transmission. So broadband highway basically meets the requirement of basic infrastructure provision for enabling people to use internet and create connectivity. 250,000 panchayats will get connected. The program which was called earlier, used to be called, today is called BharatNet. Earlier it used to call by different name. So they changed the name. They used to call network programs, and today they call it BharatNet. So it's a BharatNet program which was earlier broadband network. Earlier programs has to be now converted into BharatNet program. But basic idea is to create optical fiber network to panchayat. What they do is there is something called at the block level. At the block level is an aggregated framework. The block level they have what they call OLT is at the block level. That's an aggregation point where the injection of the connectivity take place. And from the OLT goes to the fiber, and the other point is optical network terminal from where the fiber can be used for extending connectivity. So first part is the broadband highway. That is the first component of Digital India. The second component of Digital India includes universalization of mobile access. Means mobile, at least connectivity should be available to 6 lakhs villages, to every household. That is their objective. So in that objective, they're putting up towers in many locations and also supporting various private service providers by auctioning the bandwidth to them, by auctioning spectrum to them, so can use the spectrum for connecting the villages across. So broadband highways, universal access for mobility, and of course the third is public internet access points. We should have access point for public to use internet. Under that public internet access point is what comes the Common Service Center, which we are associated. I've been associated with Common Service Center scheme for implementing across the country. We started in 2006 as a program, and now of course we are now doing it through using all kind of activities and doing Common Service Center. Let me try and do what a Common Service Center is. Common Service Centers are digital access point operated by local entrepreneur in order to provide services to the citizen living in the community where it operates. The essence is that it's operated and managed by a local person. His ability to cheat the community is very less because everybody knows his family. Therefore, his ability to cheat the public is less. And since people can access the service anything which they want. Today there are about 350 government services which are now accessed through the same Common Service Center across the country. Some states the services are very large which are available. Some states are still in development phase in order to deliver services. What is government service delivered is called G2C. What is not government service is called B2C, business to citizen and government to citizen. So that is how G2C and B2C services are delivered through Common Service Center. We have today in this country about 300,000 Common Service Centers. About 54,000 are managed by women, the women entrepreneurs. They manage the Common Service Center. And these women entrepreneurs are amazing women who do extremely good job. Their credibility within the local community is higher than the men because people trust them quite a lot. So they do a good business and they run these centers very well. Inherently, Indians are enterprising. See, the lady in the street who sells nimbu or who sells moongfalis, groundnuts, also run a family and run a business. So inherently, every Indian is an enterprise or enterprising. What is required is some support system. So we use technology in promoting the inherent ability of Indians to try and run a business. So we created the 300,000 business enterprises in rural India. Each of them operate and manage through a sustainable model. What do they do? The initial part of it, one part they do, one is of course creating the digital literacy. That through the Common Service Center, we make everybody digital literate. The digital literacy program started in 2014 was called National Digital Literacy Mission, NDLM. NDLM was basically to train 50 lakh people across the country. And those 50 lakhs were covered within a period of 2 years through the Common Service Center when closed. After the NDLM, the new government started a program called Prime Minister Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, called PMG Disha. PMG Disha is, and this says 6 crore people to be trained across the country in every panchayat. This is only for Gramin. The NDLM was also for Gramin plus urban area. That was the difference between the two. So in PMG Disha, you have to train all these people in basic digital literacy. This is a 20 hours course which is given to them. They learn the basics of computers, devices, using of those computers. They have an email address created and there are outcomes defined. The outcomes are they have to do minimum 5 digital transactions, financial digital transactions. I mean they have to at least send money from their own phone through a system to our system, which we refund them later on. They can use any of the devices, either use Paytm or some other mechanism. They have to do 5 digital transactions. They have to also open a digital locker for themselves, so at least they can keep the records. They have to do a small type test, so at least they know how to move the keys around. And after that, they also have to have a bank account, because it is important, because a digital bank account in that fashion get created for them. And then, in addition to all these parameters, there is also available a government service. You can do a railway ticketing booking or passport application form through the same Common Service Center. If these outcomes are fulfilled, then they are allowed to do an exam. In fact, the technology which is first time used in the country was what is called remote proctoring examination system. Remote proctoring examination system means that wherever you are studying, you can give an exam only sitting there. And we use this technology for the first time in India. And so where the girl and the boy, when they study in the village, she doesn't have to go to examination for somewhere else. She can sit in the same place and do an examination. We control the browser, we control everything, we control the environment remotely, and somebody looks at from behind. And if they do a mischief, we disable it completely. So they can't use anything of that. But remote proctoring technology is first time used for conducting exams and helping communities to do that part in the rural India. So we are so far done. If you go to some pmgdisha.in is a site, if you can look at the site sometime, whenever it's convenient, gives all the details of what is the scheme, what are the course content. The course content is now into 22 languages and it can be learned by any language. And we are so far done about 2.5 crore people who are registered and about 1.6 crore people who have been certified and examination given by them. So this is the digital literacy program which we do through education through Common Service Center. In addition to digital literacy, we also do other education program through Common Service Center. In the sense that we run a basic computer course of National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. We run a CCC program also. So if a person or a boy or a girl in a village want to do a basic computer course, she can sit and do the program, study there, appear for the exams, and she gets a certificate, whatever she wants to use. In addition to these computer course, we also run for something, I don't know how many of you know that only 35% of the students go to the college. 65% does not go to the college. And all programs are designed to look into those who go to college. But programs are not designed to look after those who are left out of the college, who are not able to. Especially the girls in villages are not able to go or not allowed to go, or some reason are not willing to go. But there are large number of these populations who are left out or not going. In fact, 30 to 35% drop out at the primary level. They don't even go after the primary. So such a large chunk of population who is left out, what is the way? They don't go to the traditional schooling system. The entire digital Saksharta Abhiyan is built on the premise of making a classroom, a building. You make building, furniture, teacher, that is the whole framework. What happened to people who are left out or who are not able to go to school? Or ladies, I met women who said, I got married and I got transferred, I wanted to go to school but not allowed to go to school. Who looks after them? Nothing, nobody looks after them. And that's why we started this program. We have a program for National Institute of Open Schooling where you can do from class 0 to class 12, anything, class 3, 5, 8, 10 and 12. You can fill up the application form, you can deposit the fees and study the material at a very nominal fees. You can do that part in that. So once you do that in the program, at least you are meeting those community people and doing. The greatest thing about NOIS is that it's meant for weak. It's meant for those who fail in the exam. Somebody who's failed in class 10, there is no way. He suddenly gets dud. He'd suddenly start looking at different angles. So it's actually meant for them. So if you have failed in exam and 2 subjects, you can actually appear for 3 subjects. At the end of the year, they can combine 3 and 2 and give a certificate, which is as good as CBSE certificate. NOIS is the only one who allows you to appear for 1 exam, 1 year. That means if you are a weak student, 1 year you can do Hindi, 1 year you can do English, 1 year you can do maths, 1 year you can do history, and 1 year you can do another subject. 5 years you can do 5 subjects. After 5th year, the certificate will be as good as CBSE certificate. What a transformation. But this is possible. This is what is required for rural India in order to educate them, in order to create that environment. Because we need to look after weak, we need to look after unfirm, we need to look after people who fail in the exams, and we need to look after those who are unable to go to a school, a traditional school, especially the girls in villages, for them. So we do NOIS, all the programs for them, and help them. We run, as I said, we also run programs of higher level. If somebody in a village want to do a MBA, we do an IGNU program for them. So you can do an MBA or some other courses. We are now recently tied with Symbiosis. So if you do a law degree in some village in Tamil Nadu somewhere, you can actually go to our center, appear, fill up the forms, read and study because the content are disseminated through electronic medium. So you can actually, when the class is being done, you can see the class and study that. They will send you the material and you can appear for the exam at the same place. This is what the transformation. This has happened in the intervention of technology. Today you can address issues using technology which were hitherto unable or not even heard of. That this such a large chunk of population, how do you try and cater to them? Especially for those who live in remote locations, is value for them. So we do Symbiosis, we do everything. All courses of Symbiosis are run through common service centers and then can be assessed. We are also trying in building a new part. We have tied up IEEE. We can run on machine learning, IoT, blockchain. We use technologies for doing it. We also tied up Udemy in America, where we do. Anybody who know about Udemy? This is one person has seen. Do sometime the courses. If you guys are not doing technology, you will become obsolete very fast. I can do. Whether you get into IAS or no, I don't know. But I think you will get very fast obsolete. Learn technology. Do some courses. We run these courses for rural India. We run Udemy's 3,500 courses. And anybody in a village, if you want to learn a blockchain, you want to learn IoT, machine learning, anything you want to learn, he can learn from. So as long as there is an inclination to learn. And as I said, it's very simple, very easy. So idea is to create an access to people where they live, so that the difference between rural and urban get reduced substantially to a greater extent, and technology can help in doing it. Digital India's objective is to reduce this gap. And that's what we do. So we do education, almost everything possible, whatever you can think of. The second part is what we do, what is called financial inclusion. Some of you read, I know there are World Bank studies report which say that a financially inclusive society will address issues on poverty and remove poverty to substantial extent. Also helps in creating more GDP, because that's how the reduction takes place. India is still not a financially inclusive society. India still, there are very challenges. 70 years of independence, we have 40,000 rural branches. We have 6 lakhs villages and 2,50,000 panchayat. Even a bank branch will never go to a village. First, a branch manager will never go to a village. Anybody who gets through competitive exams never go to a village. I think those who get through competitive exams, they think they're different. They're different tribe, they're different breeds. They get too much of arrogance in them. And that's why they don't want to go to a village. Nobody will go to a village. And therefore, you need to find out ways of addressing issues on villages, because 70% of Indian population live in villages. So how do you try and do that part? So we build a framework in which what we do, we now have NPCI. You must have heard about NPCI, which is now build the RuPay card and build a bridge of, like an ATM does. When you do an ATM transaction, there is an ATM switch. NPCI built a switch similar to an ATM switch, but without an ATM, through an Aadhaar-enabled payment system. See, Aadhaar-enabled payment system, which uses switch for interoperability of various bank transactions, is managed and operated by NPCI in India. So we signed an agreement with NPCI and told the same story of how do we take banking. So we now have almost all the places a banking point without a bank. What a banking does is he can do deposit, he or she can do deposit, he withdraw money, take balance inquiry, and do fund transfer. All the 4 activities, and take a mini statement. So you can do all the activities sitting in the village where you are, and you don't have to go anywhere. In fact, many people are not even going to the bank branches. I met a person, he said, for 2.5 years I not go to the bank because I get everything done here. And since these are operated through a finger, through an Aadhaar enable, the ability to cheat is very less. In rural India, otherwise there is a danger. If you give a card, the son can take card of the father and do some mischief and take password also. But you can't cut finger. So the finger has to operate. So it's insulated from those risks which happens in rural India by using other part of the format and do that. Aadhaar enabled payment system in India is amazing and is revolutionary. In fact, Aadhaar itself, the digital identity will change the entire contours of how we define governance in India. So Aadhaar enabled payment system we do banking. We also do banking correspondent with all the banks, banking correspondent is the one who operates like an agent of the bank and delivers various services on behalf of the bank. He is regulated through Reserve Bank of India various guidelines, but he performs all the banking functions. The advantage of working in rural India is that this person is available 24 hours. So if a boy or a girl or want to withdraw money, they can come early in the morning or they can come in the evening and withdraw the money. So we do almost all functions of banking across the country through using technology. Next we do insurance. India, the insurance penetration is only about 4.5%, not more than. Insurance penetration in India is very weak, is not much. And India need insurance. Insurance is risk mitigation mechanism. So you mitigate risk by taking insurance. So we do insurance. First time IRDA brought out a policy only on common service centers that they can sell small ticket insurance product across the country. So we sell insurance product on everything, third party motor vehicles, other part of the story. I don't know how many of you know that 10 crore vehicles in this country does not have third party insurance, which is regulatory and mandatory for everybody. People buy motorcycles, but they don't, initial insurance will come, but they don't know the place where to buy second time. There's no place, there's no access point. So we're creating a framework access point for people to get the insurance covered in that format. And we get about 40 rupees as a commission. 10 crore into 40 is 400 crore rupees business only doing insurance for motor vehicles. That is every year. That's an amazing word. So we run business, we don't do charity. We do everything through a proper business framework. And an entrepreneur earns money. We ensure that he makes sufficient money in order to sustain himself. And that's why we build this whole framework. And I don't know whether you have taken an insurance policy sometime or taken a bank. You all opened a bank account, but you have never read the bank account form. I can guarantee. I'm the only one who read the form. They will ask you 3 place signatures, but what is in between written, you never read this. Never read this. Because you never read this. And it's pathetic. My money, my account, I have to sign a 3-page form where I don't know what is written. What the hell it is. Where is we created? Are we writing this governance? Is this governance? Is this digital governance? This is not digital governance. So what we told many of these guys, of course, Aadhaar did it when you saw TV, Amitabh Bachchan saying putting angutha and opening an account. That life became very simple. That is how technology will help in doing it. But similarly is insurance. You have never read insurance policy. And insurance policy, when I took my first insurance policy through postal, it took 3 months for me to get a document. I was shocked. I said, why? Why take 3 months to send me a policy document? So we went to the IRDA and told them, let's use technology. Why can't they use technology? So we devised first time in the country that you can get an insurance policy instantly within 3 minutes without a piece of paper. There's no paper required. You come, put your thumb, I create your identity, you give the money, I get money deposited, and please print a document, a policy, and give it to you and go home. But the IRDA chairman was very good, and so we accepted it and we started. So we do insurance sale using technology without a piece of paper. That is what is required in our simplifying life for people. When you join government, but look into why this. If you don't look into why this, that is not, then you cannot reform. See, everything has to be questioned. Every form which is designed in government by the Babu, we don't question that form. And the form has too many. He will also ask PAN card, passport, ration card, detail for what? That fellow. And you have to fill up everything to him. Every time in this country, you keep on proving yourself. Surprisingly, when you go for a child school and take your document, the Babu will tell you, attest kara ke laiye. The child is standing in front of him with a photograph. He doesn't trust his own eyes. He trusts somebody else's eyes. He trusts somebody to attest. Attestation syndrome. This is not governance. This is not. Technology to try and help and simplify life for people. In fact, very surprisingly, all the data originate from government, live in government houses. Means if your certificate of residence certificate, caste certificate, or citizen certificate, whatever certificate, they all come from government. But when you give to government, they will again ask you to prove. Very surprising. What a pathetic situation. That is not governance. That's not governance. You use onus of proof. We will change the day when the onus of proof will shift from me to the onus of proof to the user. Why should I keep on proving that I am an Indian or I am so and so? Let the government decide. I have told I live in this country, I am so and so. You try and prove from your databases why I am so and so. Why should I keep on proving myself? That is the day it will happen. That's a transformation. That's digital India. Digital India is to simplify life for people. Using technology and trying questioning why it is being done. All of you have got a license, a chip-based license, driving license. Why did you get that? I never used in my life. Why did I pay 35? I would have got some license number. Why did I do this tamasha for getting 350 rupees? And then we say, now great. Bill Clinton came to India and he was given this card. And he was very thrilled, saying that in India only you can get a card without driving a gadi. That's what happened. But that's amazing. Why we do this? We give the chip-based card, but we forgot to give the reader to the policeman. And therefore there is no use. So what has happened in many companies have made money. Many companies, the technology providers will not use money and trying and designing something of that nature. Anything you look at, there is so much to be done. See, any of you who has sold land sometime, registration. Yeah, everybody will tell you, no, our registrations are now computerized. But I can guarantee you, the money you pay now as bribe is more than the money you were paying earlier as physical format. But that is not computerization. That is not technology. Because the existing process has been changed. Existing process, you put that together and given to a private guy in order to manage the centers. But that is not system. They still have 10 pages documents. If you have read the Registration Act says it's an agreement between two parties. If it is an agreement between the two parties, what is required is the identification of party A who is selling the land, the identification of the party B who is buying the land details and the consideration amount. Registration deed should be 1 page. It is 10 pages. Nobody knows why. I asked many of secretary. He said, no, deed writer is paid only 20 rupees per page. I said, you may say, mad. Are you making registration for deed writers or citizens? So we create structures and we look after those structures. And that's what the pathetic situation for what happened. Digital India is to do something of that nature. What is called destructive innovation. So if you don't destroy the existing system, you can't innovate. So destroy the existing system, try and create something which looks so simple and make life for people to try and do that part. I think phenomenal work can be done. Something on ethics. Somebody asked me, one joint secretary of Bihar once asked me, Sir, there's too much of corruption. How do we handle? How do we handle? One of the basic fundamental principles which you can look into it, you can also consider whenever you go and work in the field. If you can segregate the front office and the back office completely and insulate from identification, means what? The front office can be in Connaught Place in Delhi, the back office coming in Gurgaon. That means if a person, as a person, I can give an application form, whatever you want to receive, but I don't know who will approve it. And the person who will approve also don't know who is approving for. If you can insulate that part physically and electronically, you can remove corruption in this country. So he went to the cabinet and he said, sir, the cabinet has approved. But after a few days, he was transferred. So the cabinet approved the proposal, but finally he couldn't do in this country. But I think it's amazing work to be done in insulating. See, what normal tendency is, I will make my collector's office electronic. I will make my collector office air conditioned. But that is not the issue. Don't do anything in office, because ultimately, end of the day, see what is required to be done. All of you must have bought goods from Amazon, Flipkart or something. All of you must have bought something. If you can buy fridge, TV, clothes and anything, why can't you buy services in the same format? Why can't you buy my election card? I will fill up detail, you send election card to my house, I will pay to you. Ration card, I will fill up details, send it to you, send it to my house. Cash on delivery. If you can build cash on delivery on government services, government will transform. Government will transform. How many of you gone to government office sometime in life? Raise your hands. Will you go second time? No. I asked this Delhi University 400 students, 80% raised their hands. When I asked them, will you go second time? They all shouted, no sir. That is the ambition of New India. Digital India has to fulfill that ambition, that people should not come to your office. If you can insulate people coming to your office, you are actually addressing the issues of new generation, new emerging generation, and try and creating value for yourself as well as. They will love you, they will like you. Today, in this country, nobody likes an IAS officer. I can guarantee you. Everybody abuses an IAS officer. IAS officer only like himself. Nobody else likes him. Nobody likes him. But not that they are not good. There are amazing people who work very hard. There are good people who have actually done phenomenal work. But as a tribe, you are still not liked. Because the large population who doesn't deal with IAS officer, who deal with the last bottom of the bureaucracy, you have never looked after them. You have never taken care of them. You are never insulated from the risk of being manipulated by that bureaucracy. And that's the responsibility of IAS officer to look after. That has not happened. So that is the possibility of trying redefining the way we do across the country. There are innumerable examples. Anything you look at it where you can transform, reform, change, and do that part of the work. But you have to look at differently. Look at, whenever you are in whatever position, always look at yourself as a common person. If you are a villager, what would happen to you? You would have waited for somebody, or you said 10 to 5 only the meeting time, or 10 to 2. What will happen? I came by bus to a place and you saying 10 to 2. What will happen to me? And then you have meetings. You don't look at my pain, which I undergo, and then you can't say that I like you. I will not like you. So this has to be redefined in the manner when you want to try and get into the position. But e-governance today can help you. It is not possible in physical format. I do have a constraints, but I think a fantastic way of doing what you can define them. Financial inclusion, I told you, there are now banking, I gave you an example. Insurance, we do insurance for almost everything. There is a huge scope for insurance. Insurance is a big business. Insurance is a phenomenon. I've seen many poor people, uneducated people become millionaires by doing insurance. They do insurance. Insurance is a big business. Insurance also take care of the risk in any format. And there are, of course, insurance schemes run by government. We do a Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana for farmers, and 70% of the Fasal Bima Yojana is done through CSCs. CSC is an amazing entrepreneur. I have never seen in my life people with so much of passion. They work throughout the night. In Maharashtra, our people in Common Service Center work throughout the night in order to enroll farmers. This can never happen in any format. But they're driven through an incentive and a passion which we create for them to serve community in that manner. Common Service Centers are redefining the way the governance can be done. Common Service Centers become a conduit for you in order to deliver services. Many states we are delivering, many states still don't want to deliver because of the various nuances they think so. But I think most of the Government of India services come through this format. The third is on pension in the financial inclusion space. There are new pension schemes, Prime Minister Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. I mean, you heard of. This may come in the exams, so you can note down. Because this is a new scheme and it's a very good scheme. Prime Minister Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana is for unorganized labor. Unorganized labor. It is for people who belong to the age of 18 to 40 years. 18 to 40 years of age, and if their income is less than 15,000 rupees in a month, they are eligible for this pension scheme. They have to get registered. They can register through a common service center. This scheme is implemented only through common service center. So they register through a common service center in which we take their some details. The 15,000 rupees is self-certification, so no verifications are required. So you have to certify, say my income is less than 50,000, presumed to correct. The Prime Minister said, trust people, don't question. That's the first scheme ever designed. It's one of the best scheme designed simply to be done. So if you can go to the site, you can also do yourself. You can, if you want to do yourself, you can also do. You can also take PMSIM because you are unorganized. And 18 years, you have to pay 50 rupees. 29 years, you have to pay 100 rupees. If you are 40 years, you pay 200 rupees per month. Similar amount is paid by Government of India. Exactly same amount. If you are paying 200 rupees in a month, Government of India will also pay 200 rupees. The corpus gets built it, and after 60 years, you get 3,000 rupees every month. This is Prime Minister Shram Yogi Mandhan. There are 40 crore unorganized workers in this country. 40 crores. So 40 crores has to be covered. When you become in the district and collectors or something, you should try and help in mobilizing these communities and try and convince people. We also have a program called You Can Yourself Do It without a CSC. If you go to the site, it's called a direct user. You are a user, so you can directly go and also fill up details. Some details are filled up, his bank details and his nominee details. And a form is taken, printed and scanned and updated. I couldn't change that because despite a referred thing, but LIC said I want a signed copy. What will they do to signed copy, God knows, but they still need a signed copy. So there's a signed copy to be uploaded, and then the card is printed and given. You get a unique number which you can use all the time. Is it totally risk-free? In the sense that if sometime you get into an organized sector or a job, you can take your money, whatever money you have paid, along with savings bank interest rate. Or if you want to continue, you can continue and pay the contribution, but government contribution will stop. The government will not pay. And then you can draw the pension, whatever accumulates to at the end of the time. If your nominee, if something happens in between, the nominee will get the pension continued in the same fashion. Or if it happened after 6 years, the nominee will get 50% of the pension till she or he lives in that fashion. Totally risk-free. There is no risk in this scheme, but this is one of the best ever scheme designed, very simple to implement. We have so far done about 33 lakhs, 32.5 lakhs registration under Prime Minister Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana. That is for pension scheme for unorganized sector. The second scheme is called Prime Minister Kisan Mandhan Yojana. That's for farmers. Farmers whose land is less than 2.5 acres, 1 hectare. Anybody who has less than 1 hectare of land is eligible to get into the same scheme. The other details are same, 18 to 40 years, equal contribution defined on that format is what is PM Kisan Mandhan Yojana. There is a scheme called PM Kisan. I hope you don't get confused, there are too many PMs. Everything is a PM Kisan. Anybody who has heard about PM Kisan? Heard of it. That Government of India pays 6,000 rupees to farmers in 3 installments. That's PM Kisan. So in PM Kisan Mandhan Yojana can be linked with PM Kisan in the sense that the farmer consent that my money which I am to pay can be deducted out of PM Kisan, it can be deducted out of him. But then he get enhanced. He actually get more money in addition to what he was getting, because the government contribution will also come. But I think they will get pension farmers. There are 14 crore farmers in this country, and most of them, those who are less than 40 years will at least be 20% or 30%. They can be covered under this PM Kisan Man Dhan Yojana. The third scheme is called PM Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. Vyapari Man Dhan Yojana. That's for merchants or traders or self-employed people. Self-employed people, traders and merchants can also get a pension scheme similar to others. Their turnover has to be less than 1.5 crore per year. So if the turnover is less than 1.5 crore per year, they can qualify to be registered and they can get the same benefit as the others getting it in that sense. So these three schemes which I told you will actually, and all the other which are remaining get covered into National Pension Scheme. Anybody who has got a National Pension Scheme? Any of you? You should get. You, good. All of you should get National Pension Scheme. In any case, the government also gives you the pension scheme similar what National Pension. National Pension Scheme and the government employee pension scheme are same. So what Government of India will give you when you join them or you otherwise get it is the same. So you or your relative or families can get National Pension Scheme. You get a tax benefit and you find it's very good. So today, I told you, 40 crore unorganized labor, 14 crore farmers, 6 crore merchants are covered under pension scheme supported by government. This is the first scheme ever designed in government that everybody can get a pension. Today, every person in this country can actually get a pension after he becomes 60 years. The amount may look small, 3,000, but see, if you want to bigger amount, National Pension Scheme has no limit. National Pension Scheme, the formulation is simple. If you give 10,000 rupees every year and you join at the age of 30, when you retire at 60, you will get 10,000 rupees in a month. That's how simple calculation comes. But purely works on that system. So if you give 20,000 rupees in a year, you will get 20,000 rupees in a month. So that scheme is National Pension Scheme. So all the pension scheme, remember, because there are too many of them, I think will come in your exams. You can look into the system. One request, if you want to donate, because all of you are very well off and somebody must be working in your house as a helper, you can donate a pension for her. मंदिर और मस्जिद में देने से ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. It will be very good. You will save and secure future of those men and women. We have a same thing, and donate. We have people who are donating the pension scheme for their people. As long as she or he works with you, she continues. Whenever she wants to get out of some place, either she withdraws the money or somebody else pays for her. But I think donation of national pension, of Prime Minister Shram Yogi Man Dhan Yojana is a great opportunity. Driver, cobbler or a beggar or a helper, anybody who works and supports you, whom you want to support, you can do some pension scheme. It won't cost you much. If you're giving 3,000 rupees to her, you can give 100 rupees extra. That's the amount. That's not big. But it's a great contribution which we can make to people in doing. Because it is not easy to sell pension. Normally when I wanted to sell somebody, she said, nahi bhaiya, kaun jiyega 60 saal. That is how they said it. So it's difficult, but it's still working out. I think one of the fantastic things which will happen. So banking, insurance, pension create a financially inclusive society. The world will change. India will look different. And that is the role what technology will play in doing that part of the format. Do I have how much time you have? Sorry. One more I want to talk to you, and then of course the other part of the story. Then you can have question. The other is on doctors, health. Nobody will go to the village. Whatever you want to do. Governments have tried. Many state governments want to give 2,50,000 to a doctor. They try, but doctor will never go. Not only doctor, even a paramedic will not stay in a village. That's a fact. Let's realize the fact. So what do we do? If we don't do it, you can use technology in order to create the same environment. So we will build a platform. We use telemedicine. We have probably world's largest network for telemedicine. We do teleconsultation. We built a platform which is designed by a Singaporean who is only 20 years old, started coding at 8 years. So I do consultation, a video consultation on 256 KB. I don't need a broadband. That is the beauty of the platform. It runs on that platform. So you can do, with low bandwidth, you can do a teleconsultation with the patient. The patient can talk to the doctor. Doctor does the prescription, get printed and given to him or her. We do largely homeopathy. Why do we do homeopathy? Because homeopathy, the risk is very low. Meethi goli khane se koi marta nahi hai. That is why. My mantri said, why every time you do homeopathy? I said, but there is no risk. In others, there is a risk. my entire system will get, if somebody gets killed or died or something or happens to him, the entire technology platform gets renamed. So we do homeopathy, large scale homeopathy. We got 60 doctors in Mumbai who speak in various languages. For a man, there is a man. For a girl, there is a girl doctor. For a Malayali, there is a Malayalam. There is a Tamil, there is a Tamil doctor. And all languages we have doctors. They do consultation. And we also supply medicine, homeopathy. Unfortunately, there is no law governing telemedicine. So sometimes there is no law is also good law. If you have a law, they might start regulating us. So nobody regulates us. So we are free in trying experiments. So we do this. And in technology, telemedicine for this part of the story is very good. It's phenomenal. It's responsive. So we do homeopathy, we do Ayurveda with Patanjali and Jiva, and we do allopathy with Apollo. We don't do with government. The government doctors never do it. I have tried many times, failed. No, sir, there's no time. Or they will put in a room. We will put a room there, and in that room I will do teleconsult. I told them, let's do in OPD. Wherever there is OPD, this is a virtual OPD. One patient physically coming, one person coming on TV, that's all, on a computer. That's a virtual OPD. He doesn't digest it. He doesn't like it. I have tried many times, many doctors, many states, but I think we have failed. When you go to the districts, try and do that. The government doctors can also try and do teleconsultation. If we can bring teleconsultation and get integrated into existing healthcare system, it has a phenomenal value. But we have failed because doctors don't like this technology. Doctors don't do that. But I think teleconsultation can be a great story for India in all format. We charge, we don't do free. We charge for Apollo 100 rupees from the patient. Out of it, 45 rupees we give to entrepreneur because his infrastructure we use. 40 rupees we give to the doctor and 15 rupees we keep as an organization. Homeopathy we charge 50 rupees. Ayurveda also we charge 50 rupees. So for every consultation we charge money. We don't do free. There is no free consultation done. But we still have. I have stories of women. I have so much of stories of women who have never gone to a doctor. My really Kanpur, that guy Roshan Raza, he said, sir, this woman has never gone to a doctor. Or whenever the woman goes to the doctor, she also can't tell everything because the doctor is physically present. She is actually scared of telling all the things. But when she sits on in front of a computer doctor, she opens her heart because that fellow is distant away. She is not physically scared of him. And she opens her heart and do it. Teleconsultation adds a value. Many women who has never gone to a doctor sit on front of the telecomputer and talk to a doctor and take an advice. And unfortunately, fortunately, our research show that 70% of diseases in rural India are neurological disorders. If you come from village, you must have heard a new lady will go to the village and suddenly say, "Isko dore padne lage." What is that? What is a dore padne lage? It's a neurological disorder. A girl taken to a new house and suddenly kept in a cage, not allowed to talk, gets neurological disorder, and they don't treat them. They don't treat them. Pathetic. And that's what teleconsultation helps. So you can help in doing it through the part of them. So we do teleconsultation with all the doctors. We do diagnostic, electronic diagnostic. We have a kit now which can do 30 tests on dengue, malaria, chikungunya, diabetes. All the tests can be done. All the tests we can. We also trying building out. I don't know how many, if you know, in rural India, 60% of women have cervical cancer. And the test for cervical cancer is very easy. So we actually got into a new venture for menstrual health and hygiene, largely in order to prevent cervical cancer for women. Nobody actually cares for him. Nobody cares for them. So we do sanitary pad also. We make sanitary pads through the same entrepreneur model across the country. So we do diagnostic and we do dispensing of medicine. Dispensing of medicines is done through either 1mg platform is available or we send it across through the various service providers. So we dispense medicine. So he can do teleconsultation, talk to a doctor. He can do medicine dispensing and he or she can also do diagnostic in some of the tests in some format. So he become a digital. So all the three things which I told you, DBT. This is a different DBT. Digital doctor, digital banker, digital teacher. That is what our framework is. We want to make every CSC in this format and create the framework for rural India by transforming the lives of people and do that format for them. In addition, of course, we do a lot of skilling programs. We do a lot of skilling technology, use skills for people who want to learn skill. We are the only one who started what is called a drone pilot course. See, in marriages, you must have seen the drone moving around. Today they happen in urban, but we realize the potential that it will happen sometime in rural India. So we want to create drone pilots. For nano and micro, fortunately, there are no licenses. So we're using drone pilot course in order to create that community of people who get employed and do it. And if we link with an Adobe Photoshop course, then he can do a really good entrepreneur and create a value for him. So we do a drone pilot course where he does photography and also build a photography album for marriages and livelihood. We also have robotics. We teach school robotics. We have a boy in Jharkhand who runs a CSC. He was smart. His district magistrate was celebrating the birthday of his son. And the topic was robotics. So he called this guy. So he showed all the children robotics. He was, of course, learning a program, small robotics. The district magistrate was thrilled. He issued instruction to all the school saying, use this course for robotics. So he's earning a livelihood now. He's earning and making money, whole money out of this. So very enterprising fellows who know what they can do. So we run a course on small robotics. We assemble robots and learn people and children and do a course on robotics. So we do all these new things which are amazing. We are now setting up on electric vehicles. We want to set charging stations across the country in order to do electric vehicles. We want to set up 1 lakh charging stations and create rural mobility. See, one of the difference between rural India and urban India is mobility. Urban areas, you can travel many times to the location. In rural India, I cannot travel. That is the biggest bottleneck. If I can address issues on rural mobility by using technology and using commercial models, we can reduce the gap between urban and rural substantially. Then that girl or a boy, we're working with NEC Japan, who is trying to build a three-wheeler which can be multi-purpose. You can sometimes carry good, you can use an ambulance, or you can do carry in passengers. So you can do something of that nature to enhance mobility for rural India. So idea is to create and enable people in rural India to have an access so they can move any time. The girl can go to the college and come back safely by using a two-wheeler or a three-wheeler, or depending on e-rickshaws which are available, e-cycles which are going to give it to them. These are new emerging technologies which will transform rural India and do that part. I think the great story of what can happen across in the format and do that. In the 9 pillars which I told you, electronic, one of course is called e-Kranti. All that which I explained to you is under e-Kranti. E-Kranti is nothing but education. All schools across the country which have Wi-Fi. All primary schools, that's the e-Kranti. All financial inclusion, all the places there should be banking access points. That is e-Kranti. Then there are health care. Then we also do a tele-law. If somebody in rural India want to get a pre-litigation advice, do a tele-law. So you can talk to an advocate. We have an advocate in our systems. So you can talk to an advocate who can advise. We have a lot of girls from Jammu and Kashmir who actually did a lot of litigation, pre-litigation advice from our system and do that part of them. So we do tele-law. We are the also only one who do telemedicine for animals, and we use homeopathy for treating animals. That is also amazing, and I'm very good, very good. I met a person who has a camel. They took me to his house and saying, "Sir, look at this guy." He told me my camel has swollen foot, and this guy told me to consult the doctor through his computer. I consulted and he's got cured. Sir, I saved money. I only paid 100 rupees. I would have paid 5,000 rupees to the doctor if I had gone. That's an amazing part of the story. So animals can be done. We also now doing for plants. We are now building, fortunately for the government of India, they have signed an agreement with Agriculture Ministry for their Krishi Vikas Kendra to be connected to CSC. Their scientists will talk to them. Of course, scientists are very difficult. He said, "Nahi, hum to karte hi hain. We are always there in the farm. All farmers come here." They don't understand. They don't understand the requirement of new generation. They won't come to their farm. You have to go to them in order to deliver that part of the story. So we do teleconsultation. In fact, most of the diseases of plants and animals can be identified through a photograph. If you can identify through a photograph, that means you can actually do teleconsultation and use technology in addressing that part of the story. So we do for animals, we do for plants, we do for law, we do for human being. Everything tele is what is part of the infrastructure of what is digital Kranti is to be. Governance reform is one part of the pillar. Governance reforms, which I told you, is what actually is required in order to process re-engineering, process being redefined. That is one of the pillars. Another pillar is IT for jobs. So you I use IT for creating jobs. So as long as you can create as many jobs across rural, BPO is a scheme which is launched in order to create jobs in remote locations. So many of the schemes which have come from Government of India are into that format and doing it. And of course there are some early harvest programs using, or information for all is also one agenda where government, MyGov, create a system for informing every community. You can communicate both ways. You can communicate with government and you can try and help them. So these 9 pillars are one we defined e-governance in India. But it's an amazing story. E-governance India, but when you want to join with a different perspective completely and different in a manner which you have one objective. How do I simplify life of the last man who live in a village? If you can do that, that is the greatest thing will happen. IAS is not meant for making money. You can make money outside. There are private companies who will give you huge money. Don't get into this job to create that money, but get into this job to simplify life for people. That is what the IAS is meant for. And as I said, if you can redefine the way we look into and govern ourselves, that will be great contribution using technology. Technology can help us to simplify almost every aspect of life. And if you can do G2C, cash on delivery, that will be great. That will be amazing, fantastic. I will like everything to be paid, but I don't want to go to a government office. If that can happen, we do that. We did G2C, we designed, we're not only talking theory, we actually designed G2Conline.com, in which initially before the Supreme Court Jhamela on Aadhaar, if you wanted an Aadhaar card, you would have filled up the details, send it to me, I would have sent the Aadhaar card to you and charged 50 rupees. 30 rupees is the cost of the Aadhaar card, 20 rupees is the courier cost. So any place across the country, I would have given Aadhaar card. I told the same thing to Election Commission, the earlier Election Commission. I said, sir, I will give, even if your booth is close to my house, I will not stand in the queue and go in the booth. I am not going to do. I am not going to take my destiny. You might be thinking that great. So I will do, or anybody who wants an election card, fill up details, send it to me, I will send to their house. What is the problem? And I will charge money for them. This notion that free, that is the problem. See, everything, no, but we give free, why are you charging? I said, but you give an option to him. If the fellow wants free, he can go to your booth. If you want to pay, let him pay. Give an option to him. And don't make exclusivity to anyone. That doesn't happen. In fact, one of the things which we started was public grievances. DOPT wanted public grievances to be collected to CSC. We integrated with them. But I told him I will charge. He said, no, but public grievances are free. How can you charge? I said, but then I won't do it. Because my person who is working in the field using computer connectivity and his manpower resources, he is not doing charity. So it went to all over, up to the PMO, finally they got approved. They allowed us 10 rupees. Today we collect electricity bills across the country. I collect 100 crore rupees electricity bill every month in UP alone, and we are paid money in UP alone. We collect electricity bill. We do all kind of things which have happened, which have not happened. And the last we do BharatNet. We implement BharatNet. 1,20,000 panchayats, the BharatNet is run, operated, managed by CSC. We have been able to convince the government that you cannot run through the government organization because there is no incentive for them to run. So give it to our person who will run and manage. So we are shifting the BharatNet, what is called the ONT, from the panchayat to the CSC. He becomes the first user in the village. He will run and manage it. He will clean the solar. He won't let it go and destroy because he is a user of it. The panchayat fellow, half of the things are already stolen. Or the school where this stall is already gone and they know accountability. BharatNet is today with great difficulty passed on to CSC, and we're doing 1,20,000. We should be able to do 2,50,000 once we do a good job. So we maintain fiber, and they were all saying technical. I told, what is technical? My village level entrepreneur today maintains a fiber. He does splicing. They cut fiber, he will repair. We are trained in, there's nothing great as technical. We created this notion of technical and non-technical, but there's nothing great. So we maintain fiber, we repair, maintain, we do splicing for the job, and we are splicing machines for them. So we run them. We have an ISP license, so we also sell internet. So we are only transforming, we can do rural India and do that part of the work. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, it's okay. Otherwise, I will send you whatever material you want. I'll write down. I came for Pondicherry. We were doing something on economic survey. We are doing first time economic survey across the country to using CSCs. That also has come out of the government. And we're using a technology platform. We have built the application free of cost for them, that every household captured data is captured online and transmitted, and all according to the norm. This is the first time happening. First time in the country they're using technology in order to do a survey. We wanted to do census. Somehow, I don't know how it does not happen. See, in this country, they do census in 10 years. Why? Why can't they do every year? You tell me. I can collect, I have 3 lakh points, I can collect every year. And they spend 15,000 crore. We had told them, you give us 5,000 crore, I will do once in 2 years for you and give it to you. Far better than what you do. You will at least get rid of the teachers collecting data. Why do teachers collect the data? We are creating 2 lakh professional enumerators in the country, which will do enumeration work for all over. Today we have order from AC Nielsen to do a survey. I have an order for pharmacy companies to do pharmacy survey data, and creating professional enumerators across the country in order to do their job, so that they can do professionally, use technology and do that part. So as I said, the amount of work you can do in order to simplify life for people and also help government in collecting data is significant. That's all Digital India. That's the story of Digital India. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So why still we don't have an integrated grievance redressal portal for farmers online? We connect grievance redressal meetings with the services of the district collectorate for farmers every month, but the efficiency of that meeting, the output is very less. So why still we don't have that grievance redressal portal?
What is the grievance of a farmer?
The insurance compliance and many other.
Why should he come to your office?
No, that's why I'm saying we can have an integrated online portal. We can use it.
You can use.
This portal is only for information asymmetry and other issues related to it. So we don't have a grievance redressal portal.
You see, the best is to try and design something which is out of the box. If you can help people without coming to your office, that's the greatest thing that can happen. Today, technology can help and solve all the issues. So you can do that part of the work. And the farmers' grievances farmers are basically, see, some of the people say that, one of the technology guys came and saying it, people don't know about schemes. So I have designed something that everybody should know about every scheme. So very easy. See, but the problem is you're creating hope and aspiration of people. My budget is limited. If I can only construct 100 houses and there are 1,000 people who are eligible, then I have a problem. I have a serious problem. Nobody will wait for next year. Those who want to know will know. That is not very difficult. Advocacy and knowledge of programs is not a big issue. Information today is available. Most of the people, information is available. How do we help? How do we try and help them in order to try and get the best? See, learn to learn is what should be done. If you make people learn themselves, that is the greatest thing you can do. Rather than trying and asking them to come to your office.
Sir, and despite having a robust e-governance framework, why we are delaying the passage of data protection bill?
It will happen. It will happen. See, there are consultation required. When you design a policy, there are various stakeholders. When you do data protection bill envisages that all data should be housed in India. That's a very difficult suggestion. There are stories being done, like the WhatsApp will disappear. WhatsApp may not be willing to put data here. There are many of these companies, so it's not an easy decision. It's sentimental. You may play. So therefore, you have to take stakeholders' interest into account and try and devise upon. Data protection policy will come after a lot of consultations have happened. Give us a breathing space. Suddenly deciding a policy will have serious implications on the entire architecture. You can sit and ask. Don't worry.
Whenever in India we talk about financial inclusion or information infrastructure, the one word criticism says is cybersecurity. So as also the nations use cyberspace as a new battlefield, how prepared India is in cybersecurity and how long India has to going forward? And my second question is, as you have experience in banking, other than economical and financial problems with the bank, what is the general approach of allied banking administration towards the country? So what's the problem in that approach of the financial banking administration towards India?
The second one I take first and then come to cybersecurity. See, I worked for banks in about 7 years. I was in the Ministry of Finance, banking division, and I was on the board of about few banks. One of the banks was Indian Bank. So just take an example, show you how the banking is. When I was in the board of Indian Bank, we were only 3 people, RBI nominee, me and CMD. Other directors were removed. We were removed them intentionally. Indian Bank was written off. Indian Bank was the weak bank. It was said the Indian Bank should be closed. That was what's told. And most of the loan of Indian Bank were referred to CBI. Every loan. So everybody was scared. No, we will not do anything. So if you don't do anything, the bank will get closed automatically. If you bank works on what is called, banks works on assets. The deposits are liabilities. So bank doesn't work on deposit. Bank work on loans. The income comes from loans. Deposits are only liabilities. Assets are loans. So the bank, if you don't lend money, you cannot survive as a bank. That's the first principle of banking. The second is the banking is also risk taking. That is what something called net interest margin. Net interest margin in bank parlance is related to the deposit rate and the lending rate. That is the net interest margin, which is the profit of the bank, which is how it is defined. In India, the net interest margin is more than 3.2. That's the highest in the world. That takes into account because the risk is also very high. So if I have a zero risk, my net interest margin should be 2.2, which is the world over. So since my risks are higher, that's why my net interest margins are higher. So what happens in India that when you lend money, you lend to risky assets also. Risk and returns are related. If I do a risk lending, if I do a risky asset, my return may be higher. If I lend to Reliance Industries, which is less risky, I will get some PLR. But if I lend to somebody else, I make the PLR plus 3. So therefore, 300 basis points extra. So I actually make more money. So bank balance between the two, risk and the returns and the income which generate. In Indian Bank, when everything was related to CBI and nothing was happening, so we told the CMD, there was a lady CMD. She of course written a book after that. She said, I said, why not let's compromise all of them. Whatever the value of the asset, let's close everything. Because most of the money in banks are also provided. Whatever loss is there is a provision. So it's a notional loss in that sense. The bank doesn't get closed. But you have to clean the balance sheet. So she was scared. She said, I will lose a job. I told him, I am younger. I will still always lose. My job is more important than yours. So we all combined together. For 6 months, we cleaned up every loan. Every CBI case was compromised. And whatever the bank people said, saying assets only 130 crore, let's take 130 crore and forget about it. Balance we write off. So we close everything. Today the bank is one of the best banks. See, this notion that NPA is criminality is wrong. NPA is part of banking. If you do banking, there will be an NPA. But somehow some people have got this notion saying NPA is criminality. So the more NPA, the bank must be doing a badmashi. Bank doesn't do badmashi. Bank doesn't do in that sense. Bank NPA is part of culture of bank. You must deal with the NPAs in the manner which is more conducive. And as the economy grows, the NPA behaves. If the economy is doing well, there will be NPA less. If the economy is going down, the NPA will definitely be more. So therefore, banking per se, as a bank management, our banking are very strong. Why do people do banking? They do because of trust. I had the Reserve Bank of India governor. I asked him, sir, Indian bank has a negative net worth. So I told him, how can you keep money and open an account into a bank which has negative net worth? You are Reserve Bank of Governor. So he said, it has a public sector. The trust is because of public sector. So if you have a public sector bank which has lender or last resort of Government of India, your risk is zero. But otherwise, you don't know the history of the bank since I did a lot of work and I have my PhD in banking. So I can tell you, there are 600 banks disappeared in this country after independence. You may not know. And I've seen people crying. So never keep more than 1 lakh rupees into a private bank. Keep all your money into a public sector bank. They will never disappear. That is a risk taking. The banking is different connotation completely. Not many people understand banking. Not many people understand. They think that banking is criminality. No, banking no. In fact, you see the annual report of all banks, the photograph of the building is shown. Large building. You will not get a bank with a thatched building. You will get a bank with a huge building. Trust. Trust is built in. Banks are built on trust. That's why you create umpires. And that's the trust is banking. Public ownership is one greatest trust with the bit of banking. And that's why public sector banks survive. We don't have to worry. Before the 1991, our NPAs are 19%. We are still with nowhere today. We still got out of it. So it will go out. When the economy starts growing, it will all disappear. It will all disappear. Economic cycle, banking, NPA has a great relationship. So our bank are safe. Our bank will not go anywhere. You don't have to worry. Mergers have been a story for various other reasons, but not because of weakness or something. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. That is first. Second, you are saying cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a concern. Cybersecurity is a concern for everybody, and there will only advocacy and teaching and creating awareness. There is no other way of doing it. One, of course, is building. Government of India is building all kind of things. They have infrastructure now available. If you have a problem, you can actually refer to them. They can solve your problem. If they are building boots and other processes built in across in order to create cybersecurity for people. Individuals do cybersecurity like in our system. I have my last year transaction for rupees in my organization 30,000 crores. But I have my own security. So I don't worry about it. I have cybersecurity created for ourselves. Individuals and organizations are insulated because they keep on updating the security framework. In customers which are there or public generally has to learn how to live. See, today if you open some unwanted mails, you may get into soup. You should not open an unwanted mail if it's not related to you. You should not even open that mail. You should just delete that mail. You should only try and look at mails or phone calls or something of that nature, otherwise you're likely to get trapped somewhere. Today there are smart hackers which have phenomenal capabilities, and there are people. In fact, Jamtara in Jharkhand produces the highest number of hackers. Jamtara in Jharkhand. They're great guys. They hacked into some American system, into a bank. They're great fellows, phenomenal guys, and a village. Nobody has taught them anything, but they learn hacking. Hacking should also be a subject for people. Professional ethical hacking is also good. So, but cyber security, we run a course for normal customer. We have a course with Intel and do a cyber security and wellness program. We are running a separate course now of creating cyber security for women in villages. When they do WhatsApp, when they open a mail, what do they take care of themselves so that they are not bullied around in that format? But it will go on. And if some point of time, cyber security should be incorporated into school curricula. See, you can put a school syllabus and tell people saying that when you're opening a WhatsApp or you're opening an email, these things you should not do. You have to only tell them these things you should not do. That is how cyber security will happen. Okay?
So we are marching towards digital India, it's good. But on the other hand, if there is any block or a problem in the drainage, we use humans to deal with this. And we are putting this in there, right? Comparing these two, what should you think, sir? What are you thinking?
You say Digital India produces risk. I thought there's no risk. Digital India has no risk. Digital India make life simple for you.
No, sir. Digital India is not risky. I am not saying that. But they are spending more on Digital India. But if there is a small block in manholes and drainage, we put a risk of risking human lives and making them to clean. Why don't we spend money on this system, introducing new technology to clean manholes and drainages, instead of spending money on Digital India?
What is the budget of Digital India and what is the budget of rural development? You have no idea. This is not a correct notion. This is not a correct notion. See, our budget of Digital India is very negligible. Digital India has prospered largely what is called IT BPM, Information Technology, Business Process Management. These are the one which has done 50% of the wealth being created by Digital India, which is about 8% of GDP, comes from these sectors, which are Infosys be supplying manpower, or these people. So Digital India wealth is through those organizations. Government of India has spent hardly anything. It's about 1600 crore. Their budget was 800 crore, now 1600 crore. That's about 1 lakh crore, which is you're talking about. So the budget amount, budgetary allocation for that part, whether in that format, is far higher as compared to. Government of India does not spend much on Digital India. Digital India is to enhance the capability of people. Government is a promoter, but not physically spending money. No resource, not much resource.
There's a case in High Court regarding connecting Aadhaar card to the social account. And also recently government gave permission for certain institutions to survey people. So it should be by the government side.
Aadhaar to be linked with social media. I don't know. It should not be done. In my view, social media should be left off. It's a free media. Should not try and contain. See, without WhatsApp, life would have been very difficult. WhatsApp has made so phenomenal change in this world. See, I know about old people, they spend their life, otherwise they would all become neurological disorders. There are women who are alone in the house where the children are gone out, they spend time on it, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is phenomenal success story. It's a great, if you contain WhatsApp, either because of your data privacy laws or because of anything, you're preventing freedom in that sense. You should not be scared of anything. WhatsApp, look at the value WhatsApp created compared to some negatives which you perceived. So you have to, between the pros and cons, you have to look at it and then take a view. In my own view, social media, Aadhaar link is not a good thing. Not a good thing. You should not try and identify who does. In fact, many of them send the messages because they're not known. That's why they send it. But some nuisance is being created by some people, you should take care of them separately. You can always identify them. Thank you very much. Thank you.